Today's lesson is called Mindfulness, a Road to Happiness. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff.
And I'm Roger. Today we're going to continue talking about mindfulness, which is a road to happiness. And last time, of course, we kind of told you what mindfulness is. That's just kind of living in the moment and not worrying too much about the past and the future. You should be concerned about the past and the future for sure, but you don't need to think too much about those things. Try as often as you can to live in the moment, to be in the here and now. But you know something? People are probably thinking, hey, that's easy for you to say. I've got a busy schedule. I've got to get my kids to school on time. My mother is sick, so I need to take her to the doctor every week, etc., etc. I just don't have time to sit in the car and listen to the rain battering the windshield or watching things in front of me. I've got too many things to worry about. But in today's lesson, we're going to try to tell you how you can maybe pursue mindfulness in your daily life.
Wow, it sounds like you've got a lot of stress in your life there, Roger. And I know this mindfulness stuff, it sounds kind of new agey and goofy. But hey, take it from me, it works, okay? Giving yourself some time to focus on the present moment, it works. You forget your stress. You forget your schedule. You forget all the pressures in your life, and you kind of appreciate the beauty that can be found in every moment. Yes, mindfulness allows us to appreciate the little pleasures of life. So yes, Roger, I know it's tough, but stop and smell the roses. You don't have to sit in your car for an hour listening to the raindrops batter your windshield. Just give yourself a few moments to get away from it all and realize that life is beautiful. All right, folks, with that, it is time for us to take a break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll be talking some more about mindfulness.
How do you practice mindfulness? While it's often associated with meditation, you don't actually need to be in a particular place or position to cultivate it. In fact, it can be incorporated into almost any daily activity, including eating, walking, showering, or doing the dishes. Let's take this last activity as an illustration.
各位好，第一部分我们看到的单字是 meditation， 这个字是名词，指冥想、打坐。例如 Many people use meditation as a means of reducing stress. 很多人利用冥想打坐来作为一个抒压的方法。另外，将 meditation 去除字尾的 ion 再加上 e， 则可以成为它的动词 meditate。我们可以说 After work, Jenny always meditates to help her relax. 下班后 Jenny 总会冥想来帮助自己放松。接着我们看到 incorporate 这个字为动词，指使合并、并入。举例来说 The artist incorporates many different materials into his work. 那位艺术家结合许多不同材料加进他的作品里。又或者说 Scientists recommend that people incorporate 5 portions of fruit and vegetables into their meals as part of a healthy daily diet. 科学家建议人们在餐点中纳入5份蔬果作为健康饮食的一部分。
Okay, so we're asking this question, how do you practice mindfulness? So in the first part of our lesson, we talked about how mindfulness can actually help you in your life, but hey, that's easier said than done. How should we do this? How do we practice mindfulness? Well, it goes on to say here, while it's often associated with meditation, you don't actually need to be in a particular place or position to cultivate it. So, yes, when people mention mindfulness, they probably think of Buddhist monks or people like that who do meditation in temples and things like that. Meditation is basically when you sit still and close your eyes and maybe you focus on one mantra or something like that, a word, or try to empty your mind of all thoughts and things like that. But, you don't necessarily need to practice meditation to practice mindfulness. You don't need to be in a special place like a temple, or you don't need to be in a certain position like the lotus position. You don't need to do those things to cultivate mindfulness. And here we've got the verb to cultivate, which basically means, to enjoy something, to experience the benefits of something, to make it a part of your life.
Yeah, if you cultivate a skill, let's say, you develop that skill. You get better at doing that thing. So yes, here, everybody wants to be mindful these days because it's good for them. It allows them to appreciate life and to get rid of that stress in their lives. So yes, they want to cultivate this skill, okay? They want to learn how to be mindful. They want to get better at mindfulness, the practice of mindfulness. So they want to develop this skill. And yes, mindfulness, it does sound a whole lot like meditation, but you don't need to be a monk to be mindful. In fact, mindfulness, it can be incorporated into almost any daily activity, including eating, walking, showering, or doing the dishes. Yes, we're being serious here. You can practice mindfulness while doing the dishes. And if you still think I'm joking around, that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be practicing mindfulness while doing the dishes. So yes, let's take this last activity, doing the dishes, as an illustration, okay? And yes, today's lesson will be about mindfulness, how you can practice it while doing something as routine as doing the dishes. How about that? Anyways, here we have the word illustration. Usually, the word illustration refers to like a picture or a drawing that is found in a book or a newspaper or something like that. But that's not the case here. Correct me if I'm wrong, Roger. Here, an illustration is kind of like an example, right?
Basically, that's the easiest way to explain it. We're going to give you an example here, an illustration on how to make these things part of your life, how to incorporate them or include them in your daily life. And yes, we're going to focus on doing the dishes as an example, as an illustration here. So let's find out what doing the dishes is all about. Let's find out what they're suggesting here in the next part of our lesson.
Begin by bringing your attention to your breath. Inhale through your nose, allowing the air to expand your belly, and exhale through your mouth. Notice the sensations as each breath goes in and out. As you engage in the task of washing the dishes, direct your awareness to the scent of the soap, the sound of the running water, and the feel of the suds between your fingers. Simply be aware of these and any other immediate sensations without forming any judgments about them. If you notice your mind wandering into the realm of planning, judging, worrying, or criticizing, bring your attention back to your breath and the task at hand.
第二部分我们看到动词 inhale 指吸气，例如 Brian opened the window and inhaled the fresh air. Brian 打开窗户，呼吸外面的新鲜空气。接着我们看到一个单字 suds。这个字为名词，指肥皂泡。这个单字横为复数形，像是 Tim doesn't like this brand of soap because it doesn't create a lot of suds. Tim 不喜欢这个牌子的肥皂，因为它无法搓出很多的肥皂泡。而 suds 除了可以当名词，还可以做动词使用，只用肥皂洗，搓出肥皂水。我们可以说 Rub your hands together to sud up some soap.把手合起来搓一搓，搓出一些肥皂水。再来，我们看到一个单字 realm， 这个字是名词，用来指领域、范围。例如 Jack is very skilled in the realm of business economics. Jack 在商业经济的领域很有一套。最后，我们看到一个片语 at hand， 此片语指在时间或距离上靠近的，课文中表示目前正在处理的。举例来说 We'll handle all this paperwork after we finish the task at hand. 在我处理完手上的工作之后，我们会处理这些文件。而 at hand 除了上述的意思，还可以表示即将到来的。所以我们可以说 By the time summer was at hand, Laura had saved up enough vacation time to take a long trip. 夏天即将来临时 Laura 已经累积足够的休假时数，可以做一趟长途旅行。
All right, everyone, let's practice some mindfulness we're going to do so by doing the dishes. And yes, I'm not joking. We are going to practice mindfulness while cleaning the dishes. How about that? Now, step one, what do you do to start this all off? Well, you begin by breathing. Yes, you begin by bringing your attention to your breath. And if this sounds like meditation, well, you're not wrong in thinking this, but you're not meditating in a temple or anything like that. Remember, you're doing the dishes.
Exactly. So while you're doing the dishes, which to most people is kind of a mindless task that we don't really enjoy, well, while you're doing that, maybe you can focus on your breathing. I've actually heard people say that maybe you should just sit still and focus on your breathing only as a way to achieve mindfulness or to do meditation. I've also been told by people, oh, no, you can't meditate unless somebody has taught you, because if you do it in the wrong way, evil spirits will get in your body and you'll be in big trouble. So indeed, you should take our advice with a grain of salt here, but we're suggesting that you inhale through your nose. Actually, I just inhaled through my mouth, but there, I inhaled through my nose. So indeed, breathe in through your nose and allow that air to expand your belly, to make it bigger, to expand. You might want to expand your business in China, for example, and then you exhale. Let the air out through your mouth and then repeat while focusing on your breathing.
So first you inhale, breathe in, and then you exhale. Breathe out. Yes, inhale through your nose, allowing the air to expand your belly. Yes, the air goes in there. It goes into your lungs, and though your lungs are what expands, but here it says that you're expanding your belly. Your chest is going to get bigger. That's what it means to expand, to make something bigger or larger. So breathe in through your nose, allowing the air to expand your belly, and then breathe out. Exhale through your mouth. And while doing so, be mindful. Pay attention. Notice the sensations as each breath goes in and out. Pay attention. Focus on these things. Be mindful of these things, these sensations. Now here, a sensation is a feeling, okay? It's something that engages the senses, and that's the case here. Now the word sensation does have another use, another common usage. Something that is trendy and all the rage right now can be called a sensation, like K-pop boy bands are sensational, or you can say that they are sensations the world over. Right now, people think that these K-pop bands are super cool. They're in, they're chic, they're super trendy or cool. They are sensations.
Exactly. So, yes, you're talking about the feelings here. That's the meaning in our sentence here, the general feeling that you have in your body. You might have a burning feeling in your stomach, for example, if you eat food that is too acidic or something like that. But in this particular case, we're talking about the feelings that you have with each breath. You kind of focus on those sensations, and that brings you into the present moment. Now, as you engage in the task of washing the dishes, direct your awareness to the scent of the soap, the sound of the running water, and the feel of the suds between your fingers. Ooh, this is quite a sensational experience, washing those dishes. You can pay attention to the smell or the aroma or the scent of the soap or the dishwashing liquid. So that's kind of interesting. It might have a lemony smell or something like that. You could also focus on the sound of the running water as it runs into the sink. That's kind of an interesting sensation. And then those suds. Ooh, they can be quite sensual between your fingers, those suds. That's basically what forms when you mix water and the soap together. You get this kind of foam like you would in a cappuccino or a latte. You get suds there. Or foam. Suds and foam are basically the same things, and yeah, it feels kind of cool between your fingers. Yeah, ooh.
Yeah, my daughter has just discovered bubble baths. Yeah, she loves a bubble bath. She likes pouring the soap into the bathtub there and making a bit of a splash and causing all of these bubbles to form in the water. You can call these bubbles, by the way, suds. And bubble baths, well, they're a bad thing when your daughter gets crazy and makes a mess of the bathroom. Yes, if those suds, that soapy water stuff, gets on the floor, it can become quite slippery. But bubble baths also have the upside of making sure your kid gets clean, okay? If your kid's taking a bubble bath in that soapy water, chances are they're also getting clean. So bubble baths are pretty good for those reasons. Anyways, more on mindfulness. Yeah, go ahead and feel those suds between your fingers, amongst other things. And this is important. Simply be aware of these. Simply be aware of these things and any other immediate sensations without forming any judgments about them. So that lemony smell of the soap that Roger mentioned earlier, just experience that. Don't say, oh yeah, I hate that smell. That smells terrible. Or, oh, that smells wonderful. No. Don't form those judgments. Just let them be. Experience them. Let them wash over you, so to speak.
Yeah, I can relate to this. You know, sometimes when I do the dishes, it's kind of a mindless thing to do, so my mind starts wandering in different directions. Gee, we shouldn't be using this brand of detergent. It's too expensive. We should get something else. Or, my goodness, we've been using these cups for many years. We should get some new ones. I'm sick of these cups. Or these plates. My goodness, when they get slippery, they might fall on the floor and break, and then we'll have to buy new ones. Oh, there are so many things that you can distract yourself with when you're doing the dishes. So, of course, our suggestion here is to focus on what you're doing. Focus on those suds, on the water, the smell of the soap, the sound of the dishes as you put them in the rack to dry. Oh, there are so many things you can enjoy when you're doing the dishes. And here's our next point here. If you notice your mind wandering into the realm of planning, judging, worrying, or criticizing, bring your attention back to your breath and the task at hand. So that does happen. Your mind starts wandering into this area or into this realm of planning things, like what you're going to do next, or judging things. Yeah, these plates are awful. We should get some new ones. Or worrying about things. Gee, what happens if I drop this plate on the floor and it breaks? I can't afford to buy a new set of dishes. Or criticizing. Gee, the last time my wife did the dishes, she did such a terrible job and I had to do them all over again. That, of course, is criticizing. Don't do that. Bring your attention back to your breath. Think about your breath and think about actually washing the dishes. And don't be so judgmental.
There you go. Criticizing. It comes from the verb criticize. Very simply, if you criticize something or someone, you point out the errors and problems and flaws in that person or that thing, like Roger was talking about before. So go ahead and be mindful. And yeah, go ahead and also let your mind wander a little bit. But if you start criticizing yourself, let's say, or you start worrying, stop and go ahead and bring your attention back to your breath and the task at hand. That is, focus again on the thing that you are doing right now. Do that thing that you should be focusing on in this very moment, i.e., doing the dishes. So go ahead and bring your focus back to that and your breathing. That'll help you to be more mindfulness and in the moment. All right, folks, with that, it is time for us to take a break. But when we come back, we'll be wrapping up our article on mindfulness.
At times, this process may not be relaxing, especially when what you're doing is boring or unpleasant. Nevertheless, by practicing mindfulness, we can learn to accept whatever situations life brings us and, over time, develop greater happiness.
Okay, so today we're using the example of washing the dishes as a way to be mindful or to practice mindfulness, to live in the moment, to focus on the task at hand. And at times, sometimes This process may not be relaxing, especially when what you're doing is boring or unpleasant. I think most people think that doing the dishes is boring, it's unpleasant, it's not something you look forward to. You're always trying to get out of it. You always want someone else to do it. So at times, yes, it can't be very relaxing, and that is especially true when it's something boring or unpleasant, like doing the laundry. In Jeff's case, you don't like doing the laundry. I don't like doing it either. Even though the machine does most of the work, I still hate it. But hey, for some reason, I actually enjoy doing the dishes. Go figure.
Me too. Anyways, yes. When what you're doing is boring or unpleasant, maybe this process won't be relaxing. Nevertheless, by practicing mindfulness, we can learn to accept whatever situations life brings us and over time develop greater happiness. How about that? Now here we have the word nevertheless. So yes, we're saying, this is going to be terrible. I've got to wash the dishes. Regardless of how mindful I am, this is still going to be boring and unpleasant. Yes, that's true, but still, this remains. The fact that practicing mindfulness can help you to develop greater happiness. So even though this is boring, even though something can't change, you won't change either. Or at least the fact that mindfulness can help you be happier won't change. And that's what the word nevertheless is all about. Yes, it's similar to the phrases in spite of or all the same. All right, folks, with that, it is time for us to take a break, but don't go away. The Chinese teacher is waiting in the wings.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第3部分提到 At times, this process may not be relaxing, especially when what you're doing is boring or unpleasant. 有时候这个过程可能并不轻松，尤其当你所做的事情是很无趣的或是不愉快的。好，那后半句这个 what you're doing 它是用 what 引导的名词子句，用来当主词，必须视为单数，所以后面才会搭配单数动词 is。那另外要介绍的是片语 at times， 它是一个蛮常见的频率副词片语，表示有时候啊或是偶尔。那 at times 它的意思就跟 sometimes、now and then、once in a while 或是 from time to time 意思都差不多。我们再顺便补充2个跟 time 有关的片语，第一个叫做 at all times， 这表示总是怎么样，一直怎么样，意思就相当于 always。 好像我们开车的时候都会提醒驾驶人眼睛一定要盯着路嘛，要随时注意路况，这时候可以说 Keep your eyes on the road at all times， 要你一直都把眼睛盯在马路上。好，第二个呢是 at one time， 这表示曾经一度，它是用来表达过去有一段时期或是有一次怎么样，那意思就相当于 once。 例如At one time, people believed that the earth was flat. 人们曾经一度认为地球是平的。好，接着到课文最后一句，他说 Nevertheless, by practicing mindfulness, we can learn to accept whatever situations life brings us and, over time, develop greater happiness. 尽管如此，透过练习正念，我们可以学习接受生命带给我们的各种状况，以及随着时间发展出更美好的幸福。好，句子里面这个 whatever 它是当形容词用来表达不管什么样的、任何的，那它也可以表达出所有的这个语义。像 take whatever tools you need 就是说你需要什么工具全都拿去吧，不管什么样的工具全部你都可以用。好，顺便补充一下 whatever 另外2种用法。第一种是表达任何什么什么的事物，它就相当于 anything that。 那这时候 whatever 是用来引导名词子句。例如 You can buy whatever you want， 你可以买任何你想要的东西，想买什么就买什么，大家都应该很希望有人对你说这句话吧。好，那这个例句里面这个 whatever you want 就相当于 anything that you want， 那它是名词子句，摆在动词 buy 的后面来当它的受词。好，第二种用法是表达无论怎么样，不管怎么样，就相当于 no matter what。 好，那这时候 whatever 它是用来引导副词子句。例如 Whatever she says, don't believe her。 不管他说什么都不要相信他。好，那这个例句里面这个 whatever she says 就相当于 no matter what she says， 那这部分是个副词子句，所以它有用逗号跟主要子句隔开。好，以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Cultivate. As a child, Dana cultivated her musical talent through taking piano lessons. Illustration. Let me give you an illustration of what I mean. Expand. My suitcase can expand to fit more clothes and gifts inside. Sensation. I felt a cold sensation on my skin, as if I had walked through a ghost. Realm. The politician made outstanding contributions in the realm of foreign affairs. Criticize. I don't mind when April criticizes me because she always has helpful suggestions. Nevertheless. That movie was a little dumb, but I had fun nevertheless.
Discussion Starter starts now!
Here's our discussion starter for today. What do you think would be a good activity to do while practicing mindfulness?
I think that my daily jog would be a good time to practice mindfulness because I do notice that my mind wanders when I jog, and that's okay, but sometimes it does wander into negative places, and I think if I'm more mindful, I can stop that negative mind wandering in its tracks and focus on the task at hand, i.e. running.
What a good idea. Well, I would practice mindfulness while playing mahjong because I can focus on the sound of the tiles hitting each other and the feeling of the tiles in my fingers and the joy that I feel when I actually win a round. My goodness, I can play mahjong and achieve nirvana.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.